Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. So today, or first off, how was your holiday? Um, Mine was long, but not too bad. I didn't watch any Christmas movies, surprisingly. Right? Did I? If you count Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie, then I did watch a Christmas movie. But other than that, I did not. And now New Year's is coming up, so getting ready for that. I have a couple cigars for New Year's, and I'll be looking forward to smoking those. But right now, I'm gonna enjoy a Oliva Series V in Churchill, I believe. Actually, I got my tape measure right here. My metric tape, my tape measure has metric on that side. Yeah, it looks like just about a Churchill. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's a Churchill. It's a 7 by 52. Yeah, so yeah, I'll be enjoying a probably a Gurkha Red Witch on New Year's. That's my prediction. Um, Either that or I'll be smoking something else. I don't know. But how was your holidays or Christmas or Hanukkah or Festivus or anything? Uh, did if you got anything interesting? Leave it in the comment section down below if you right and what you did too. I just kind of stayed at the house with my girlfriend. It was kind of nice for a change. It's really um low key Christmas, which I quite enjoyed because I'm not a big party person. I'm not a huge fan of going out and I know people who go to like 6 different houses on Christmas. I'm like, that's not fun. At least not for me. So, oh, and I did get my red contacts. I don't have them in right now because it is almost 12:30 at night. So I will be going to bed shortly after I finish this cigar. But I'm actually in the process of doing setting up to film a couple videos. I'm gonna film probably soon how to string a tennis racket. I'm gonna redo the how to put an overgrip on a racket, how to grip your racket, and using lead tape, which I have right here. And I'll be putting lead tape on a bunch of different rackets, most notably these two. The Yonex and the head racket that I have, because while I like the frames, like I do like the head frame, I do like where it's balanced, and I do like the added power it gets, and it's probably one of my favorite head rackets to play with. Just due to the stiffness, I do um, enjoy playing with a high stiffness racket. I just can't often play with one for a full match because my arm will fall off because I have my enjoyable tendonitis in my elbow and wrist, so my arm will fall off if I play with a high stiffness racket. But it is quite plush feeling even though it is so stiff. But it just it's a racket that I like to fool around with and just play with, occasionally have fun with. But I do wish it was just a little heavier. I like where it's balanced, but I just want a higher swing weight, so I'm going to probably put some weight right at the balance point of this racket, just to add a little bit more heft to it. So, just to push up the swing weight to at least into the 320s. I know I prefer around the 330s for my match racket, like 335, somewhere around there. That's where I like my swing weight to be, but I'm just hoping that it gets up around 320, 325. But I'm not going to calculate it at all, just because I'm not that interested in. I just want to. Good thing about lead tape is that it is removable, I believe. Actually, it is. Yeah. So I will. Yeah, it is removable, so I can just play around with it. I'm gonna probably play around with it on this racket because I'm not quite sure where I want it to feel. I just kind of want it to be a little bit heavier than it is. But that's all for that racket. I also like the cosmetic of that racket. I do like the all blue look. It's pretty sweet. And then I'm gonna put some lead tape around this racket, mostly because I just find it to be. I'm gonna put the lead tape definitely on both sides of the hoop, over here, and definitely on the top of the frame. Just because I find it's a little underpowered, so I'm gonna add some weight up here, and it's also very torsionally unstable. It wobbles a little bit when I hit, so I'm gonna add some lead tape around here, which will help prevent it. And then I'm gonna add some lead tape down by the handle just to keep, because I do want to keep the same balance point, because I do like the balance point of this racket. I do like a headlight racket, so yeah, I'm gonna probably push this one up to the weight of the heavier version of this racket. The heavier version is 330 grams. This is 310. So I'm basically gonna turn this racket into the heavier version of itself by adding weight, because I think I'll like the heavier version of this racket. So I cannot wait to do that. So those will be in the video. Probably the head I'll do on my own, and then the Yonex will be done. Will be done on the video. So I'm looking forward to doing that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Because I've always been curious about putting lead tape on a racket. I've never had a racket. The racket I play with now, I know I talk about a lot. I talk about my rackets a lot in this vlog, but I love my rackets. The racket I play with now, I don't have to add any lead tape to, because it is right with the specs that I want it to be. It's got a really high swing weight of 335, which is right where I like it. It's got a really high static weight, which is, I think, strung up. It's roughly 12.5 ounces, which I really enjoy. And that makes it very. A lot of the weight is, it's headlight, but the way it's designed, is also very torsionally stable because of its heavy weight. The heavy static weight and the heavy swing weight makes it very, very stable in terms of not wobbling around in my hand. Like if you hit it like here in the frame tends to, a non-stable racket will tend to twist this way when you hit it like here in the frame. Hit it here in the frame, it tends to twist like that in your hand. That's what the Yonex does. That's what I've noticed. So I just plan on adding a little bit of weight here and here to resist that twisting of the Yonex. But right on this racket, it's got a good enough weight where it doesn't do that, so I don't need to add any weight. So that's why I love this frame, because I can buy it and right out of the box it's good to go. I don't have to add anything to it. That's what I loved about the Steam 99S. Same thing, very torsionally stable, very high swing weight, which is what I love. I mean, it's a little light, but I really care more about the swing weight than the static weight, to be honest. But the high swing weight added to its stability, so I didn't have to add anything to that racket either. Same thing with the 6190 that I just got. I love that too. Very high swing weight, very high static weight. So it is, those rackets, perfect. Pull them right out of the box, good to go. And also, adding the lead tape to the hoop of the Onyx is going to give it a little bit more power, because a little bit more plow through and power. So, and I do feel like the Onyx is at times a little underpowered. So I am looking forward to adding a little bit more juice to it. But yeah, that's. Oh, and I'm stringing the Onyx for the video, and I'm re-gripping the Onyx. I'm putting a leather grip on it. I do prefer a leather grip underneath my overgrip, just because it gives me a little bit more of a connection to the ball. That's what I have under all my Steam rackets that I used to play with. I took off the old grip and I put on leather grips to all my Steam rackets, just because I prefer leather grips. The only racket that I only have a few rackets that I don't have actually a leather grip on. One of them is my feeding racket, which doesn't need a leather grip because I'm just hitting with little kids with that one. And then the head, which I'll eventually get a leather grip for that too. I can be very picky with my rackets. But yeah, on the topic of my contacts that I just got, I really enjoy them. I really like how clear they are. I'm surprised on how, when I do have them in, how red my eyes are. I mean, they're not. The good thing is they're not like cartoonish red, but they're a very, very bright, scary red. But the good thing is, like, you'd think that I can see pretty clearly out of them. There's no film over them. Since the pupils are not colored, I can see fine out of them. It's just the color part of the contact that goes over the color part of my eye is red. So it's basically everything's clear, and so that I did particularly enjoy that. The only thing that is a little red is that you do get a slight tint of red on the very, very outside corners of your eyes. There, it becomes very, very tinted, like at a 2-degree angle from looking at, this way, at like a 2-degree angle off the complete parallel to your so like 2 degrees from here is like a little bit tinted red, but your eyes eventually adjust to it, so it looks clear. Because it's not like shaded or anything; it's just a bright, very bright red. But your eyes eventually adjust to it. So, and you'll see me with the contacts in the vlog eventually when I film a vlog that's not at 12:30 at night. Oh, and the reason for these vlogs being so late is just because holidays, family, patience gone with work and stuff. Work has been very interesting. If you ever have the opportunity to work retail during the holiday season, don't. I mean, I'm lucky I'm in the tech room and I'm just fixing things and doing things for customers. But it is still nuts back there, because if you order a bike online, if any of you have ever ordered a bike online, you know this, hopefully. But if you order a bike online, it is not built. It's not assembled. You get it in a box. It's it's partly assembled. It's got the back tire on the frame, and it's got the gear system on the frame. But and the brakes are on, but none of the cables are hooked up. The handlebars not on. The pedals aren't on. The steering column ain't on. The front tire isn't on, and all the cables aren't hooked up to the actual. The only cable that's hooked up is the gear cable, because that is unbelievably a pain to rehook up to hook up. If I've had to replace like one brake cable, and it was like the death of me. But there was a lot of customers who bought their bikes to give their kids on Christmas that doesn't understand that it takes more than a second to build a bike. In that, a lot of them wanted their bikes built by Christmas, and yeah, that wasn't happening. So the backstory is I've never built a bike before until 2 days before Christmas. Since I've built like 3 or 4 bikes. Or partially built 3 or 4 bikes. I think 3. So what had happened was, there's a big disconnect between managers and the people in the tech room, in the tech crew, in the techs at Sports Authority. In that, managers will make promises that we in the tech shop can't keep. Because we're not. I mean, we can build bikes. We're not particularly. I mean, especially me, because I'm the new. Well, I think I'm the second newest tech. But I'm the slowest at building bikes because I have the least experience with building bikes. Because I'm the racket guy. Ask me questions about rackets. Rackets, I'm good with. Bikes, not so much. But I can still work on bikes. I still know about bikes and stuff. I'm just not particularly fast at it. But I had never built a bike before, and that's when okay, so I shouldn't say that there's a disconnect between all managers and the people in the tech crew or tech room. But there's a disconnect with a few managers in the tech room. Because a few managers get it. They know that we're human back there. We can't build bikes lightning fast. And then there's a few back there who think that we can just churn out bikes on a dime. But so one manager promised a customer to have a bike done by Christmas. Another manager said the customer called back. That manager said, and the manager that they spoke to said no. The customer got pissed. Then they called again. A manager said yes, and then they called back, and another manager said no. So it's alternating no, yes between 2 managers, which I get is frustrating. To the point where the manager who said no, who was realistic in that regard, because he knew that I didn't. A lot of the managers know that I'm basically shit with everything but rackets. But so he knew that I probably wouldn't be able to get it done. Or it wasn't. Basically, how it's been in the tech room at Sports Authority is I'm responsible for rackets, and the other techs are responsible for the bikes and skis. Because I'm the only one who can string out of the techs, and I can do bikes, but I'm pretty shit at it. So usually it's not my job to do with the bikes. Theoretically. I mean, on paper it is, but in practice not really. And what happened was the manager who kept saying no, who has a realistic expectation, is like quiet. we have this customer who needs this bike built, and you're the only tech here, and you're the only tech who's going to be in this week. I need you to try to build this bike. So I built this bike. I hope little Timmy or whoever is riding it doesn't die. They shouldn't, because actually when I actually got into building the bike, it's actually pretty easy and straightforward. Just for me, it just takes a while. Mostly because half the time I'm searching for tools. Some techs seem to have it memorized what tool goes with which part and what size tool goes with which part. I'm like, nope, that size, nope, different size, nope, different size. But I assume that I'll pick that up eventually. So, but luckily I was able to get all the bikes out for Christmas except one, because the company that sends us the bikes didn't include the pedals or the steering column. I guess I should be grateful they at least included the tires. So I just had to talk to the manager. I'm like, yeah, there's no pedals in this box, and there's no steering column either. And I think the manager's jaw almost hit the floor with that. It's like, how do you forget those? So, yeah. But that was Christmas at Sports Authority. I also had to adjust the binding for a ski on my own for the first time, which was interesting. It's actually pretty easy. But yeah, luckily enough, it's just holidays are over. No more bike rush or anything. Yeah, some neato Christmas gifts that I got. Neato, yeah. I got some more. I got another pair of black jeans, which I am going to enjoy, and a few other things. Like I got cologne for Christmas. I don't know if they're trying to say anything. What are they trying to say? I stink? I'm just kidding. But yeah. Yeah. So that's basically been my Christmas. My dad and his girlfriend came over. That was good. Sort of. My dad is a very interesting person, I find. Yeah. I mean, like I've said before, we don't have the greatest relationship, personally, but we tolerate each other. I think we've gotten to the point where we tolerate each other. So that's a good thing. At least Christmas, we tolerated each other. But yeah, other than that, it's been a very uneventful Christmas. I'm looking forward to the new year. And then I've got about 13 days to my birthday, so yeah, from now. Yeah, what day is today? So, oh, so today's the 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Yeah, like 13 days to my birthday, so looking forward to that. Sort of. If there's any younger people out there watching me, I have no idea why you'd be watching me, but if there's any younger people out there watching me, here's the thing with your birthday as you grow up. it becomes less and less important. Mostly because there's only 2 birthdays that matter really after 16. After 16, you get your license, you can get your permit, your license, and whatever. Then you turn 18, that matters. Then you turn 21, that somewhat matters. And depending on the age, I think it's like 25. So maybe 3 birthdays that count. 25 also counts too, because then your insurance and your car starts to go down, which I'm very much looking forward to. if for those who live outside of Massachusetts, know that the insurance rates in this state are insane. When I first started driving, my insurance rate was $2,000 a year. And I was driving a $1,500 car. No, well, my truck was valued at $1,500, so that's what it was covered for. Even though I bought it for more, but yeah. So imagine if I was driving a new car. It's ridiculous. But so luckily my insurance will go down to 25. Looking forward to that. Yeah. So, but yeah, my 21st birthday I'm hoping is very low key. Most because it is. I'm not a big, like I said, I'm not a big partier, and I'm not a big drinker, and I'm not a big anything. I might celebrate with a glass of scotch and a cigar, of course. But a scotch and cigar, it's good enough for me. I don't need a. I see a bunch of my people I know on Facebook going out of their minds and stuff on the 21st birthday. I'm like, no thanks. Because it's yeah. But yeah, gradually over time your birthday becomes less and less important. Actually, am I working on my birthday? I might be. Let me see if I'm working on my birthday. Yep. I'm working all day on my birthday. And on my girlfriend's birthday too, I think. But I may try to get out of work early on that day. But yeah, it's been a long few weeks. Hopefully, I'm hoping to get back to filming this Saturday. Hoping to get back to my video routine. I got my grades in, not as good as I'd like them to be, but it's been a long semester, and I kind of felt burnt out. Basically the entire semester. So, yeah, it's been a long year. So I'm ready to take my vacation. Hopefully after this vacation I'll come back, recovered and fresh for the next semester, and hopefully that'll prove to be a better semester. I think just going into this semester after working ridiculous hours over the summer and ridiculous hours during the school year, that hopefully coming back after that will be a good thing. Well, hopefully going on the vacation and stuff will be a good thing. So, and I will definitely be taking you guys along. I won't have probably any, like I said, I won't have any vlogs probably uploaded that weekend, but I will hopefully be recording and filming that weekend. So, yeah, that'll definitely be fun. No tennis for me that weekend. Oh, another thing I did over Christmas is I played tennis with my sister, who was hitting really well that day, surprisingly. Actually, I shouldn't say that. That makes me sound like a condescending, person. But I, Um, uh, then yeah, I was. I mean, she's she was hitting really good, so I was quite happy with that. I mean, uh, we were able to have some good rallies. She doesn't like to move though on the court. She doesn't like to run, so she would want me to hit the ball right to her, which I could do, which I was fine with. I could get it within like 2 feet of her, so on everything, no matter what she sent to me. But here's the kicker: she doesn't mind making me move at all. So she's trying to make me run all over the court and whatever. I need the exercise anyway, so made me realize how out of shape I am. Because I haven't played and I haven't been to the gym in a while. And all the holiday food. I swear we need to have a little bit more space between Thanksgiving and Christmas, just because you pack on the pounds. Um, and so yeah, it was fun. She was hitting really well. I was hitting a little bit more with this racket, the new racket that I just got. So it was quite nice. Still love it. Still can put the ball on a dime with it. So a couple times I burned her a little bit with it. I smacked the ball into the corner at a pretty good pace, and she didn't even try for it sometimes. I was quite happy with that. I'm such a mean older brother. I can't. Well, I can be on the tennis court. It's like, oh, you don't want to run? Sure, that's fine. I'll just hit this ball a bazillion miles an hour. Right at you. um, yeah. So that was fun. Um, oh, and Rory, I got your greeting card. Thank you so much, and uh, Merry. I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to you. Uh, basically all you guys, Mark, Chris. Um, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm sorry. Like I said, sorry that this has been. I didn't get to vlog much over the holiday season. It's kind of crazy with family and everything. That being said, let's get into reading your comments. Oh, wow, I've got a lot of comments. Uh, hmm. yeah, I've just been crazy busy with the. So here we go. Rory says, "Well, I'm back to torture you yet again with another comment on this vlog. Hope your first round of finals went well. Um, it went okay. From what I remember, last week. Um, then tomorrow we read with just one. No, that one was my chemistry one. That one was the hardest one. Are you free to leave once you completed it? Yes, but I took the full time, so it didn't matter. I know you're probably getting eager to start with your holiday break, as you mentioned having some plans you want to get in. Hope you do get those accomplished during your time away from class. I enjoyed seeing you smoke a black and mild and a Swisher Sweet, even though I prefer the plastic tip. And you said you don't. It's just what I've got used to. Plus, smoking the tip helps keep the tobacco from my mouth, which I hate. Oh, so yeah. Oh, wait, you were referring to the Swisher Sweets. um, Most of the newer Swishers have a multitude of fruity flavors. Do not come with a tip, so I have to stick with So I've always stuck with the original tipped and the original black and mild wood tip aromatic pipe tobacco. Yeah, the wood tip black and milds are good. The wine flavor is pretty good, but I think I'm gonna go back to trying the original black and milds. Well, it sounds like your girlfriend seems to be cool with you being you and with and all the fine and wonderful things that make you you. How lucky can you be? Yes, I am incredibly lucky to have her. She's an incredibly awesome person, and she's into cigars too. Yes, she is. Unfortunately, she's already had her one bad experience with a cigar as her second one. That just comes from um, her being new and me being incredibly, not incredibly experienced, but I've had my fair number of cigars, and I've quite built up a tolerance to nicotine. And fortunately, that means that I don't notice full strength cigars anymore. I don't. I mean, I do get somewhat of a nicotine buzz, but it's usually I get a nicotine buzz off like the very full strength, like the very full nicotine cigars. I get a buzz off those. Uh, but in terms of just normal cigars, uh, even like this is technically a full strength cigar as it's labeled. But then I think maybe the website might have mislabeled, might be confusing strength for body. But the problem with that is, since I don't notice full strength cigars, really, I tend to shop just based on the flavors that I get from them, which is good because I really just smoke the flavor anyway. The problem is that when you hand it to a beginner, who, and this is only their second cigar, what gives you a buzz is gonna make them is gonna probably set their hair on fire because um because they haven't built up a tolerance to it, or they don't have a tolerance at all, which I found out. So now I've started to deliberately look at cigars at reviews while I'm shopping for them, just specifically so that way I don't accidentally give her another full strength cigar because I mean a small nicotine buzz is fine, might feel good. A big nicotine high, not so much. So yeah, I'm gonna avoid doing that. Yes, but she's into cigars too. So that's really uh, awesome too. You know, she's an incredibly awesome person. I'm so lucky. I'm incredibly lucky. Hope she'll be comfortable enough to join you from time to time in a smoke vlog, and perhaps be a regular contributor. I hope so. If that is something you'd welcome, yeah. I mean, if she wants to join me on the vlog, definitely. Um, and she's okay with the goth scene, to quote Mr. Burns of The Simpsons. Excellent. I hope I did that right. You said that when you got together with your cousins, it was like a collection of atheists. Did I hear that right? Yes. Yes, we are all atheists, and we spend um, me and my cousin and his girlfriend. We're all atheists, and my girlfriend's an atheist too. So when we get together, it's basically a lot of good amount of religious jokes that would probably all get us burned at the stake in medieval times if we ever said them. Actually, definitely, not probably, definitely. I hope that you don't get too many of these cluster headaches you mentioned. And while I'm glad that the pain relievers you took gave you much needed relief you saw, do be careful taking such high doses of them. We want your headache gone, not you. um, yeah, just it, I think that I've seemed to have found the painkiller that works, and that's Excedrin. So I'll be taking that. Um, because ibuprofen. Ibuprofen hasn't really worked too much for me, and Tylenol alone doesn't really work. But aspirin is sort of Excedrin is basically a combination of Tylenol and aspirin, so that seems to work. So I'm quite happy with that. I found a somewhat decent solution. So, but how cluster headaches work basically is for a period of time in the year, you get one every day at the same time, every day. And I seem to have 2 points in the year when I get them. I get them in the late fall into the early winter, or very late fall, and then I also get them in the late spring. And they're horrible. But the rest of the year, I'm fine. Like, I think I'm out of and that's called the cluster period. And I think I'm out of the fall cluster period now. So I haven't gotten one in a good amount of days. So I am quite happy. um, so, so where do you play tennis at, where do you play tennis at their are there indoor courts? And how long is the season? So the indoor season is basically, so there's no real set seasons. It's basically when you're too cold to play outside, you play indoors until it gets warm enough for you to play outside. That's usually how indoor seasons work for recreation. For outside of school, competitive tennis in like schools and college, then indoor seasons dictated by how much money you have, how much money the school has to pay for the indoor courts for the team. Once the school's out of money to pay for indoor courts for the team, you are outside. Fortunately, that sometimes puts you outside in 40-degree weather. Not so fun. Um, for me, if I could pick my indoor season, it'd be from mid-November, no, early November to probably late April or mid-April. Early November to mid-April would probably be my ideal indoor season because because between those two times it's kind of too cold for me to be outside or outside playing tennis. Um, Granted, if I could play tennis in a winter jacket and in multiple layers, I would. But then it kind of gets hard to run. But I mean, the cold doesn't bother me because I've lived. The cold doesn't bother me because I know how to layer up and wear warm clothes. Unfortunately, warm clothes and layers don't really fit into playing tennis. So, yeah, if I could pick an indoor season, it'd be like early November to the end of April. But we start outdoors in April, in the beginning of April, so that's a little too cold for me. But what can you do? And I used to play at local indoor courts. I booked the courts. Unfortunately, I had to pay for them, and they vary in price. They vary anywhere from like $15 an hour to $45 an hour. So. When you were showing us the rackets side by side in the picture, which you were pointing to, I wasn't able to see the difference, but is the newer model all that much better? Oh, so this is one of the rackets that I showed in the picture. So this is the one that I play with, and the newer model. There's no newer model. The two models came out at the same time. They're the same cosmetic. It came out at the same time. The only difference between mine and the other racket that I showed you was the string pattern and the balance point. Really, the beam thickness, how thick the beam is. So with this one, I get a little bit. With that one, you get a little bit more spin and a little bit more feel because it is a thinner beam, so you get more response. Usually, but this one you get a little bit more. I mean, you get more power with that one because of the open string pattern, and the open string pattern gives you more spin too. This one you get more power because of the beam thickness, but because it's a thicker, tighter string pattern, you also get a little bit more control too. And it's a little, so it's you get different aspects. I mean, this one has a heavier static weight too, so this one is a little statically heavier, but they do have the same swing weight. Just the balance point is up. For that one is up near here. This one's down near here, so the balance points are different. So it's all kind of where you prefer the racket, and so theoretically he gets more spin and power out of his and more feel, whereas I get a little bit more control and power. Mine's more of a control and power racket versus his is more of a spin and power racket, if you can think of it that way. But because he doesn't have so much of an open pattern, not as much. It's more open than mine, but not so much more open. That he gets the difference in power and control and spin out of both rackets is almost, it's pretty similar. Only he just gets, it's just a slightly enhanced spin and slightly enhanced power on his racket. But I don't know. I prefer but mine is more stable because mine has a higher weight. So I prefer the stability and the control of mine versus the power and spin of his. I already get enough spin off my shots. My shots rotate. I have a lot of spin. I have a lot of spin in my game naturally based on how I swing, so how I play. So I don't need more spin. If anything, I need less spin. So my racket works perfectly for me, and that racket seems to work perfectly for him. They're not very different. They're the kind of you can kind of think as rackets as think of model years, and think of the model year being like 2 years. So we're in the same, like our rackets came out in the same model year for rackets. So they have the same cosmetic and they look very similar because they're also in the same line of rackets. They're both Pro Staffs. So just he has one version of the Pro Staff and I have a different version of the Pro Staff. That's how it kind of works. So, in terms of which is better, it's really better for the player. Uh, like mine is the best racket for me, and that racket seems to be the best racket for him. Um, so, yeah. I mean, I did hit with his racket a little bit. It's nice, but the added power and the added spin is not something that I need in my game. I prefer the control and the precision that I get out of mine. So you have the finesse, and he has the power. A power player, he runs to till you can't run anymore. He runs you till you can't run anymore. If you're only 20, you should be able to whip him. I wish he runs 5 miles a day and works out an insane amount. So usually I beat him with a big serve and coming to the net and playing aggressive. So and then he beats me by getting everything back. So which is fine. Or he picks on my backhand a little bit because my backhand is slightly weaker, especially with higher balls. So with higher shots, it takes a little bit longer to set up my two-handed backhand because I do have a weird grip to get higher balls, but so the weakness, I have a one-handed backhand. The weakness of a one-handed backhand is that balls that are bouncing high are kind of a nightmare. And but in order to compensate for those higher balls, I've changed my grip on the backhand to a very extreme grip. The only problem with that is that it takes a little bit longer to set up. So it's made it easier, not easy to deal with those higher balls. But unfortunately, I've had to sacrifice some setup time, so it takes me a little bit longer. So it's kind of hard to set up for my backhand. But yeah, it's usually, if he does beat me, it's usually pretty close, and it's usually pretty close in games too. So I mean, it's not like he's blowing me off the court at all. We're kind of winning 50-50 in terms of the points. So next time the umpire isn't looking or him, throw a banana peel on the court and see if he slips. Is a bananas his food of choice? It seems that way. And sometimes when he's getting everything back, sometimes I wish I could. I don't wish to appear mean to the guy, but I don't recall hearing you say his name. Isn't this the guy who said might smoke a cigar with you? Yes. That would be nice to see him after a good go around on the court. And when you're able to do another tennis obsessed video, make sure you get your camera, a GoPro, I think you called it, mounted to the fence to try to get a closer shot of you, or do a zoom in so we can see you a little bit more clear. Yeah, hopefully if I get a GoPro fence mount, I'll be able to mount a GoPro to the fence, and we'll be able to see a lot of the. The good thing about the GoPro lens is that it's a fisheye lens, so everything seems to be. Fisheye lens give you a wide field range, but it kind of compresses depth, so it makes things kind of appear closer, which is actually a good thing. Or it distorts. It doesn't make things appear closer, but it does distort the kind of distances, so it makes it hard to judge how far things are. So, I mean, it does good for tennis filming. I ordered me a nice fleece black turtleneck, and it arrived the other day. I'm so excited to get it washed so I can wear it in this winter. I never wear anything without washing it first or right off the rack. What kind of person do you think I am? I do have some standards, even if I am a witch, and don't come back with the wisecracking remark like you mean warlock. What do you mean? What do you think a warlock is? A male witch, duh. A witch is a witch regardless of what body part you possess down under. Well, now to the question of the vlog. What did I prefer location to smoke? Well, here where I live, I can do it inside my apartment, or I can smoke up my car, which I have absolutely no problem with whatsoever because I like the smell of cigar smoke in my car, preferably with the windows up. But I suppose my locale of choice would have to be indoors. Now, please be sure to watch your email. There'll be something coming to it this week, the next day or two. I don't want you to miss it. And on that note, I bid you a very good evening. And as always, remind you to always savor and love your smoke roaring. Thank you, Roy. I got the card, and I thank you so much for it. It was very nice of you to do that. And Mark left a comment saying, "Well, it's Tuesday, and your finals are probably over. What a relief for you, I'm sure." Yes. And now you can hopefully get started with enjoying your Christmas break. Enjoy the time off. I hope the finals went well for you. It went as well as, I mean, I guess. I mean, not exactly the grades I wanted, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining after this semester or after this year. So I'm sorry. I'm just getting around to commenting. Oh, when will you know how you did? I already found out how I did. Like I said, I did as well as can be. I mean, can't complain with after. Like I said, I can't complain with how the year that I've had. So, so I'm just getting around to commenting. I didn't want to get too far behind before you posted another, and then I had to work my way up to the newest just to be a part of the discussion. So many things to hit on. I'll try not to go into them too deeply or too detailed for the sake of repeating answers you previously gave. As for your girlfriend, she sounds like a winner. She absolutely is. She's freaking awesome. I am incredibly lucky. And being cool with you just the way you are always helps. Yep, it does. All of you. It's equally cool to find a mate who is open to cigar smoking. Hopefully, we will be able to see some of that in a vlog or two. Yeah, I would definitely be open to having her on the vlog. Next to smoking the black and mild, have you ever smoked the Searcher Sweet Perfectos? No, I've never smoked a Searcher Sweet Perfecto. I didn't even know Searcher Sweets made Perfectos. A friend of mine used to smoke those a lot. He actually liked them better than the smaller tipped. And I have to admit the Perfectos had a rather nice smell to them. I know that you have said on more than one occasion that Christmas isn't much of a holiday for you. This year you have someone else in your life with whom you can celebrate the holiday with. Yes, that was definitely nice to have my girlfriend over for that weekend. And I hope your first together dating as a dating couple will be a nice one. Yes, it definitely was. I enjoyed it, and I think she enjoyed it. So yeah, it was definitely fun. You seem pleased with your new racket, although I also could not tell much of any difference between the two you showed us. So that actually isn't a new racket. I've had this racket, the one that I showed you in the picture. I've had this one for a while. It was actually this one that was the new racket. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I love both. I love the swing rates of both. They're right in my neighborhood of what I like. They both fit my game perfectly. Well, the new one, which isn't really a new one, it's an old model. It's an old racket, but it's the one that I just recently got. The only thing I'm challenged by is a really small head. It's a 90 square inch, like I said, so um, it's a little bit small. But I'm not a pro, so actually even the pros don't play with 90 square inch head sizes. Last person to do that was Roger Federer, and he switched. Actually, Roger Federer, the helped design this racket, the racket that I use. Um, yeah, that's gonna stay in the vlog. He helped design this racket, and this is the racket that he uses too, and it happens to fit perfectly in my game as well, because I kind of based a lot of my game off of his game, or I've tried to base a lot of my game off of his game, so this racket also fits perfectly into my game as well. But but as long as it improves your game, that's all that matters. I'm a pretty big Johnny Depp fan, but I've yet to see Sweeney Todd. I think you said, and I want to see Religulous. That should be right up my alley. Maybe I'll try to get to see them over Christmas or in the very near future. I definitely recommend both. Sweeney Todd is a musical, but it's a it's a very good musical in terms of um, basically. I think you'll like it. I think I mean I know I know musicals aren't for everybody, but it is definitely a movie worth seeing. And Religulous is awesome. Um, as I watched your last video with you smoking a pipe and blowing those hot ashes onto yourself, and you having said that you've set yourself on fire before, and that you have an Epic Mad Science video of you being set on fire, for some reason the band Porno for Pyros came to mind. As the weather starts getting colder there in Boston area, you have to move your tennis playing inside. Where would you position your camera? I have no idea where I position my camera inside since there's no fences. But I guess we'll have to. I'll figure it out. Hopefully, you can get some close-up shots of you moving back and forth. Would your girlfriend be allowed inside so she could do the videotaping, or would she not be comfortable with doing that? I don't know. I haven't really asked her. I think she'd be comfortable being behind the camera. Uh, so she might be up for that. I mean, she did enjoy watching me playing tennis. Mostly because I curse a lot on the tennis court. I know that you're not supposed to do that. I know that if I was on the pro tour, I'd get a lot of fines. Because I do yell at myself a lot. So, um, and yeah, she's allowed inside. Because basically you just pay for the court. It doesn't matter how many people are on the court. So, um, and I too don't think I recall hearing you say her name. Um, her name is Shelly. Uh, that's what everybody calls her. So, you said that she was cool with so many things about you, like from your hair to your tattoo, your many YouTube channels, which she probably watches. She does. Your goth, is she into goth? Is she herself into the goth scene? Yes, she is. Uh, or is she just okay with you being in it? No, she is very interested in it herself. So I'm very excited about that. Just dropped cigars. Just dropped my cigar on my computer table. Uh, and what does she think about your painted nails? She likes them. know that she likes him. I too think your nails are cool. You suffer from cluster headaches, huh? Man, do I know about those? Those have put me down on more than one occasion. Not fun. Yeah, they are not fun. um, I wouldn't wish those on my worst enemy. If your girlfriend is able to go on a ski trip with you and the others, you can show her how to ski. Or she doesn't know how to. She doesn't know how to ski. Uh, but I will eventually teach. I'm determined to eventually teach her how to ski. Um, even though she thinks the only apprehension she has, she doesn't really want to slow me down at all, which, believe it or not, that's a good thing if she does, because I'm one of those skiers who will ski uh, the hardest difficulty trails and race down them all day. And when I say race down them all day, I ski faster than a car traveling on the highway, or I have before. And so, just to put into perspective how fast I ski. I mean, I can keep right up with people who ski 60 miles an hour and 70 miles an hour. It is, yeah, I believe that's the top speed some of the skiers have reached on some ski slopes. At least from what my uncle said, but I know I was traveling faster than 55. All I know is the bus ride home from one ski trip, because I was skiing with the school, I know that I was traveling faster than that bus on the highway, based on the frequency at which trees were passing. On average, I was skiing definitively faster. So I could probably ski in the 60 to 70 miles an hour range. Or I can. That doesn't mean when I'm alone, I do that a lot. When I'm with others, I usually stay right up with however fast they're going. There's good things and bad things to that. Sometimes you want to cut loose and go racing down the mountain, which I like to do sometimes. Or actually, I like to do all the time when I'm alone. The problem with that is, at the end of the day and the day afterwards, I wake up and I feel like I've just been hit by a train because my legs are incredibly sore. And so the good thing about having a new skier or an intermediate skier with you is that they force you to take it easy. So the next day you can actually function. So, but skiing is a sport I'm best at. I mean, I enjoy it a lot. So, I've been skiing, like I said, I've been skiing for going on 10 years now. So, I'm gonna try to get this wrapped up pretty quickly so it can be on before you make your make and post your next, just so you don't have Romeo's only to reply to. So I'll answer your blog question and end it. As for my preferred locale of my smoking, of course I'm at home inside. Of course at home inside is the preferred place, but I've never had a problem lighting up in my car, but also going out to the cigar lounges and bars and firing one up once in a while, of course, because. But I also like going out to the cigar lounges and bars and firing one up once in a while, of course, because I'm so shy. I rarely, if ever, go inside one alone. I'd rather be with buddies who like to likewise smoke in the company of friends. Well, there you have it, my comments to the vlog. So I will leave you and look forward to seeing you next. Mark. And leave your mark here. Mark also left a comment. Oh, Mark and Brandon left a comment on my cigar and tennis vlog. I believe that's what it's called. He says, "We absolutely love that shirt, Brandon and I. Brandon is liking you more and more." Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Mark. And cigar vlog favorite cigars. He says, Rory says, as I make my way through these older vlogs, I am noticing you have some very nice shirts. I have also noticed a comment or two from Chris. When we talk, he expresses how much he would like to comment more and misses being part of the conversation. And I do my best to encourage him to respond when he watches. I'm hoping that in time he will become more comfortable with sharing his thoughts and respond to your blog questions, which as a cigar smoker himself and a faithful viewer of your videos, it would be nice to see him join in. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Chris joining in. And when he does, I'm very happy to see him. So, Chris, if you're watching this, I really hope that you tune in. And actually, I really hope that everybody else out there also tunes in as well, chimes in as well. Sorry, it's now like 1:30 in the morning. Then on my cigar vlog, he says, "What? No." Rory says, "What? No Blanco 9." No, I had not tried a Blanco 9 by that point, but I did have my first one. I think I did a vlog of just my first Blanco 9, and now I'm obsessed with them. And I've still yet to get another box, which I'll need to get one soon. Then on my latest video, Rory left a comment saying, "Are you holding out on us, or have you been extremely busy?" I've just been extremely busy with the holidays and family, and yeah, I'm waiting for it to settle down a little bit. Or have you been under the weather and not able to make and upload videos? I saw activity on your Why I Told channel. I'm trying to think of what I did on my Why I Told channel. That's a good question. I don't think I uploaded any videos on that channel. I'll have to poke my head over and see. But yeah, it's just been extremely busy, just with family and stuff for the holidays. But getting into the question of the vlog, where is my preferred locale? I think you've seen my preferred locale. I have never actually been to a cigar lounge and bar. I'd probably just because there's not one in the general vicinity of where I am. I would probably poke my head in on one soon because I do know of one, but I will plan on going there eventually. But usually I just prefer smoking at home just because it's easy. Also, another thing I don't like to usually do is have a cigar in the middle of the day. Mostly because when I'm smoking cigars, I prefer to basically get as comfortable as possible. Like I put on my pajamas and I prefer to kick back in my slippers, which, as you might be able to tell, I need new ones. And smoking just at home. So, or I'll smoke outside of my front lawn, my backyard, or occasionally I have one in my car if I'm going a good distance. But usually it's just on my own in my house. Is where I kind of prefer to smoke. And then for the question of the vlog, since it is now the end of the year, what was your favorite cigar you tried this year? What was your top cigar for 2015? And let me know in the comment section down below. And I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.